Hi, boys and girls. Let's have a little fun. Yesterday you made some beautiful snowflakes. Today we're going to make snowmen. Remember the book we read, Snowmen at Night? They're all so different. And I'm going to show you how I made mine. And then I'm going to leave you to create yours. And, bring it to morning meeting and we can show all our friends. So, first of all, you will need a nice blue sheet of paper, like this one. And you will need a piece of chalk. Now, I am going to imagine, of course, that this is the ground and this is where the sky is. And I chose blue because white will show up nicely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the snowman. I want to leave some room at the top because I think my snowman needs a hat. But I don't need to leave any room at the bottom. So the biggest snowball will go at the bottom. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw. And the nice thing is, if it's a little bit too big or too small, you can change. Well, you can't change it if it's too big, but you can change it if it's too small. I'm going to make a smaller one on top, and then I'm going to make the smallest one above that. That's about right. Now, maybe I want it to be a little bigger. And I know that looks silly, but watch what happens. When I color it, and I'm coloring it gently. And I'm keeping my hand not rubbing it on there because then my snow won't rub. You can color like you do with a crayon. Remember, you pinch it. And you can make little circles, or sometimes I just go back and forth. And I want to cover up all the blue parts. I'm going to pause the video for a second while I finish that. And I'll be right back. I think he looks pretty good. I mean, I can always go back and color it in a little bit more. But right now I'm going to put down my chalk. I'll pick it up again in a little bit. Now, if you want to do your snowman, so it looks, this part is done, and then come back, you can. Otherwise, watch what I'm doing. And then you can turn it off and make yours all at the same time. Remember how I had told you to save the scraps that I gave you? Because this is what we're going to use them for. Now, you're also going to need a glue stick. And pretty much that is all. What I decided was, I wanted my snowman to have a top hat. So from the black paper, I cut a square and a rectangle. When I put them together, they look like a top hat, don't they? Don't know if, I think it'll be a good size. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put a little glue on the top of his head. I'm going to see where I want my rectangle. And then I'll put a little more so it stays. Then I'm going to put the square part of the hat on top. Sometimes it's hard to cut things out all at once, but if you do it in pieces, it works. There is my top hat. Then I decided, I'd like him to have a red scarf. So I have this nice scrap of paper here. I don't know how I want this to work. But I do know that at the end, I think some fringe would be fun. See how I'm cutting little fringy pieces? I'm even going to crackle it up like this. You don't have to do this. You may not want your snowman to have a scarf. See, I keep putting things up and seeing what it looks like. I'm going to have this part of the scarf come down here. Guess I want it. And then let's see. I don't know. Perhaps. Yeah, I guess I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to trim up this end too. Remember, nothing has to be perfect, but I like it with the little fringes. Let's see. I'm going to move that a little. there's my scarf. And then what I did was I cut out a couple of little, so there they are, circles for eyes. Well, they're a little big, but that's okay. Oops. And what do you think that's for? My triangle carrot nose. You can make yours any way you want. My challenge is, don't ask Mom and Dad to do it for you. Do it for yourself. Whatever you do is going to be fine. This is going to be the sunshine. Because I decided that's not really part of the snowman, but it would be a nice detail. And I cut these strips because I really would like the sun to shine down. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll have to cut my strips. They're way too long. I'm going to stick one there. And they're not all going to be the same size, but I'm okay with that. And one there. Oh, he's shining right down. And maybe one more. Right there. And you could put some more if you want. There's my son. Oh, you know what else he needs? He needs some buttons. Now I have black buttons. You could have any color that you want to cut out. I'm going to put 3. When I look at him, I'm thinking, gee, he needs something else. I think he needs some arms. And I was going to use brown, but I noticed there isn't any brown. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to cut a strip. And a strip. And you know what I think? I'm going to get out my green scrap too. Okay? I'm going to fold it in half. And you don't have to do this. You can do yours any way you want. But I am going to cut out a mitten so that I can put my mitten on the ends of the sticks. And when you fold it, that makes 2. So let's see. I don't think it needs to be that long. Maybe I'll rip it in half. And I will tuck one in here. Okay. And I will give him a little mitten. And then this one, maybe it'll go over this way because I don't want it to be in the sun. And we'll put a little mitten on that end. Here he is. Now, I've seen some children who decide that they want their snowman to be holding a broom. When I was a little girl and I made a snowman, sometimes I would borrow the broom from my mom so he could be holding it like the guy in Frosty the Snowman. I kind of like him. Now, I'm taking my chalk, and I'm not going to color everything, but I'm going to be a little silly. I'm going to give him some pupils. I know a real snowman wouldn't have that, but I think it might help him to see. And maybe dig out my black crayon. There he is. Oh, he looks like he's waking up. Now he's looking. The only other thing I'm going to do with my chalk is do some very careful snowflakes so that it looks like he's out in a snowstorm. Notice how I keep picking my hand up. If you drag your arm across it, this is what will happen. You'll get a smudge. And you know what? I'm not too worried about it if you get a smudge. It will just look like there is a lot of snow. So there's my snowman. I think he was a lot of fun to make, but I can't wait to see what you guys decide to do. Be patient. Take your time. Everybody's will be different. Have fun, boys and girls.